do some exploring. Light. Alright, that is our clutch wheel doing. You can see that this whole block was originally painted that Chevy orange right there. I'm just gonna turn on the, yeah. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. That is a huge flywheel. This is the whole clutch. The need more light. Clutch pressure plate. And oh wow, the input shaft for the gearbox. Today, well, just more recently, the splines that I'm used to seeing are way more fine than this.
Like this one.
5, 6. I think there might be maybe just 12 on that, and that's the push actuation for the, when you push on the clutch, it pushes on this lever here, and then that in turn pushes that arm over this way, and then onto this. This is called a throwout bearing. So this can apply pressure to the discs. So the clutch pressure plate, it applies pressure to the middle of that, and when you put pressure on the middle of that, it relieves the pressure on the outside here, relieving the pressure on the clutch plates inside here, and thus in disengaging the spinny power from the back of the engine into the front of the gearbox, which is this. So all the power that goes to your rear wheels in your car, or to your front wheels if you're a front wheel drive car, or all the wheels in a four wheel drive car, goes through this shaft. I always find it quite impressive, the size of these pieces of metal and how much, you know, power they can have thrown at them. Okay, yeah, so this is a throwout bearing. So it spins because all this assembly is spinning with the motor. When your motor is turning over at 1,000 RPM or 8,000 RPM, this is spinning around at the exact same speed. So the balancing of this is really important too. And this needs to spin so that when it presses against this, it doesn't rub away there. So when this goes bad, you'll notice that when you push on the clutch, you'll hear this grinding sound of it, either not spinning and then grinding against that, or maybe you've just got something wrong in here, so when it does spin, it sounds horrible. They are something that goes bad. What next? Okay, so I'm gonna try and lift that gearbox up, and let's see. It looks like the input shaft is, yep, just proud of the bell housing. I'm still gonna put it end up over there on that pallet. That's what I'll do. Oh wait, great. Put it in the furthest away spot you can when you have to carry it. Okay, let's do this crack. What? The speedo cable from the gearbox decided to get caught on the front wheel of the bike and the kickstand of the bike. So when things inside your gearbox are spinning, there's a little thing that fastens onto the end of this long cable here. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but that goes down to a square at the end there. Just have to believe me, maybe. Goes down to a square, and it rotates that cable there through the middle of all this. Well, it comes out the other direction. It goes all the way that way, and that's what tells the tachometer on your instrument cluster, you know, where your revs are at and where your speed is at. I don't know which one this is. I don't know if it's at the output, so I'm guessing that's for speed. That'll be a speed sensor. That input shaft we were looking at before actually sticks out a little bit further than this surface here. So I've just balanced it, or just not balanced it, put it in the correct position so it's just sticking out through there and not putting unwanted pressure up on the internals of the gearbox. The gearbox will be opened up at some stage too. I doubt it needs any work. I hope it doesn't need any work. But I'm also just curious to see the engineering inside there. I've opened up many gearboxes in my time, but never this model. So it'll be fun to do some digging there. Next thing to do is to get all this assembly off. So need to undo all these bolts on the outside of the clutch, pull that off. Then there'll be a bunch of bolts around the middle of the flywheel that'll fasten the flywheel to the crankshaft on the back of the motor. Once all that's off, we can chuck it up on the stand. Whoa, that 14 is really close. We're going to be replacing these bolts anyway. Okay, we're using the 14. Okay, we're using the 14. It's just convenient. Okay. Getting a bit hot. Sort of balancing out the way I take it off, because there is a lot of pressure out on this plate here. So now I've got sort of in a triangular pattern. I've got 1, 2, 3 still fastening it on. So I'm just going to back these off slowly. Just break that, break that. Bottom one. You can see these moving here. As we take that off, it's starting to relieve the pressure. And that's all the way out. That's all the way out, obviously. And then this last one. Come on, aim it first. There we go. Alrighty. Is your flywheel here. This is very securely bolted to the, bolted to the back of the crankshaft. This is the thing that spins inside your motor. And then when your foot is off the clutch, all of these plates are, there's just one. Okay, a single plate clutch. In a multi-plate clutch, you guessed it, there's multiples of these. This is just a single. So you can see this pattern here, that spline there, that female spline, lines up exactly with the input shaft we were looking at before on the gearbox, when the gearbox input shaft goes through this way. So this bit grabs onto the input shaft of the gearbox, and when your foot is off the clutch, this is hard to do. I need to put this on. How should we do this? Like that. Hey, okay. So when your foot is off the clutch, these springs here press in really firmly, and sandwich this clutch plate between this surface here and this surface here. When you only lightly press on the clutch, it sort of relieves the pressure. That's why these can sort of slide on each other a little bit. And then when you let your foot all the way off the clutch, it really slams the whole thing together, and that disc is held absolutely firmly between this surface here and this surface here. And then that puts all the transfers the energy to the center here, and it spins the input shaft of the gearbox. When you put your foot on the clutch, it relieves the plate pressure on this, and this can spin freely, or this stays still with the gearbox while all this energy from the engine keeps on spinning. Clutch seems to be in really good condition. The plates don't have much wear on the plate. Single plate clutch doesn't have much wear on it at all. Input shaft, gearbox input shaft splines look beautiful. Yeah, it's fantastic. There's no big cracks in the clutch side of the grabbing surfaces. There's a few cracks in the flywheel, or that might just be little points where the clutch dust is sort of built up a little bit. We'll see. I'll try and clean that back and see if those little lines are still there. Anyway, let's get this flywheel off. I'm just going to hit these with the impact. Okay, 17 mil. Fits on there really nicely. So Come on, there we go. Cute. Threads still look really nice. Wonderful. All right, I'm gonna balance this out a bit as well. I'll try going with star pattern. Okay, let's chuck those bolts somewhere safe. All right, this is gonna be heavy. Yeah, that's a heavy flywheel. Put the cam off so easily. Check out the, that's interesting. I wonder if that was an old balancing technique for these cranks. That seems strange to, yeah, I've never seen a crankshaft end like that with these big cutaways. I don't know if that was something to balance the rotational weight. Just love that everything on this engine is magnetic. Do you really need that light though? Maybe if I put the light there or something. Oh, what a catch. Okie dokie. All right, let's see where we're gonna wanna grab on. I think there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Are gonna be our points. Where are the long bolts? There they are, there they go. 2 washers. Whoop. Bolt's starting to bottom out in this hole. Can't go any further. Don't want to really crank on it because I don't want to, yeah, bad times. Don't crank. So I need to run maybe another 2 washers in here, I reckon. Maybe 3. I think I got enough so I could run 4 washers on each one. I may as, it would have been a good idea to get some nuts too, because then I could have, oh no, that wouldn't have been good. Anyway, we'll figure this out. That's, yeah, perfect. That's starting to get really tight on there. Okay, so we'll do that one now. So we had 3 washers that side. 1 washer that side. Go up to this point here. Grab that tight for now. I need another arm there. Big washer. Okay, so usually you want this to sort of be in the center of gravity of the engine. If I have it too far down here, when I try and turn it over, it's just going to go plunk. So I'm going to actually lift this up a little bit to about there. I want it to be in line with the crankshaft there, because that's the center, you know, left to right. And then I'm just going to come up a little bit. You can see how much up, hopefully from there. Yeah, up a little bit from there. Maybe even a little bit further. Yeah, I like how that's looking. Good, okay, now I'm just going to tighten. Can I hold this in place with my foot? Hold that in place with my foot. And then tighten these into place. Sweet. I'm gonna get something on the back of these. Okay, so 22. Yep. All right, they're nice. Very nice and tight. Then I'll just tighten these up a little bit. Just like that. Does not need to be really cranked by a long shot. That's starting to get a bit more resistance on it than I would like. I might put that spare, I have one spare washer. Okay, solid. With that. All right. Look at that. Engine is being supported by a stand. Oh, that's gonna be, oh, it's nice to see it up. Everything's nice. Give it a good shake. That's nice and secure. Nothing's moving around here. Beautiful. All right, cool. Now I can get the engine crane detached and sort of put back in the corner. Engine is on the stand. I will just butt it up against these mats here. I can do that with one hand. Maybe and a foot. Yeah, that seems like an alright spot. I can bring the spotlight over if I need it. I'll get this cradle off now, chuck that somewhere, and then yeah, I'm gonna take this thing off. Alright, we're pretty well set up here. Got the cradle off the top of the engine, got the spotlight out so we can get a really good view at what is going on under here. These, better view for you is those. So what is the 7/16? Oh, that's a bit annoying. There's very little space around that bolt to get the socket onto. Should just be enough. Okay. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts first in this one. Okay, let's put these over there for now. Sweet. Do they look any different? Just like that. All the bolts fastening the valve cover, which is this whole unit here, are separated. Now, can I get it loose with one hand? Nope. I'm gonna have to give it a couple hits with the dead blower. As there'll be a change in pitch. There you go. You can also see this one wriggle. I'm going to hit it with the vacuum just around here real quick so we don't get more stuff falling in there than what we want. Oh, there goes the washer. So far I've vacuumed up a nut for the rear taillights and whatever that washer was for. I think that's pretty good. Okay, we are completely free. Here we go. Let's see inside this thing. All right. That's incredibly clean. Okay, first of all, I can see there's been a little bit of contact. See there, between, see it came out like this. So I can probably, I wonder if I should put an arrow on that just pointing up. I don't know if I have any markers down here. Does it fit on the other way? It looks like it's almost completely symmetrical. Anyway, you can see that there's been a bit of rubbing right there. I wonder if this is too small a valve cover for this or what happened there. Such a simple valve train. There's push rod, there is arm, there is valve. You see just in there, the biggest collets I've seen. Jeez. And then, yeah, valve spring. There's a little bit of play in a couple of them, but about what you'd expect. Some are tight, because I'm guessing they're opening. Yeah, so they are at different levels. So it does have a camshaft in it. There does not seem to be a bunch of, ooh, there's some goop there. What's that? That looks like metallic-y goop. That's just sort of settled in there. There does not seem to be a bunch of like burnt oil sticking to everything. It still has the paint. Still has the original paint from when, well, we're assuming original. That cover came off so easily. I have to imagine it's been done before. It still has the cardboard style gasket as well. So quite a bit of oil sits in here up to that level. But it, you know, there aren't any big chunks of metal in here. There's that would have just fallen in when I took this off. I'm really happy with how that's looking. Okay, so if anyone's curious in the numbers that I'm finding in here, there is one of them. So it's 878246J284. There's a 64 up the top there too. I have no idea what that means. There's GM there for General Motors. Don't know what that means. But it looks really clean. It looks like somebody really looked after this motor. This is great. I might be able to reuse all of that. I'm gonna call it a night. But in the next video, I'm gonna start taking off we'll take off the distributor, we'll take off the coolant lines, off with the fan, off with the alternator, off with the intake manifold, off with the, yeah. I'm just gonna rest the valve cover on here in the meantime, just to keep that all safe. I'm so happy with how that's all looking. That looks absolutely fantastic. And I guess the oil gets delivered up here through the push rods, because there's a little hole there. I don't think that's is that to supply oil to the push rods, or is that for the push rods to push up oil into here? That'll be interesting. I'll know when I see the top of the push rods, because I'm not sure yet how the oil is supplied to the head in these. I know it drains through those. You can see this hole better over here. It drains through those holes there, but. And how many head bolts does it got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 head bolts. So exciting. I'm really happy to have the engine on the stand now. Yeah, have the gearbox off to the side, and this is actually starting to resemble somewhat of a workstation. I need to get up here and start cleaning all the cobwebs out of this, but as I said, I just got really excited and I wanted to start work. Okay, so signing out there. Catch you next time.